It's round 11. We're at the Mxgp circuit for the GP of Latvia. MX2 qualifying is about to get underway. We're going to have a word with Petrov. Petter, looked like it was a tough outing for you last weekend in Sweden.
Yeah, I had not so much luck. I had some technical problems, and I think just the luck was not on my side. But a week later, and yeah, such a good weather here in Latvia, so hopefully we have something different than last weekend.
And how are you feeling out there on the track?
Track is pretty sandy, so I like it, and I feel really good for the moment. So hopefully we have a good start and see how it goes.
Thanks, Petter. Right, we'll carry on up, and we'll have a word with Tim Geiser, because we've seen him from the start of the year competing in both the EMX 250 and some of the MX2 races when the 250 class isn't with us. But Tim, you're now concentrating on the MX2 class. How did you reach that decision?
Yeah, because in Portugal I didn't finish so good, and also in Arna in France I didn't finish, so it's not possible to win the European Championship. So I'm not now riding MX2 full season, so for next year, because next year I will ride full season, and I'm training and preparing for next year.
So next year we'll see you in MX2 rather than EMX 250?
Yeah.
Great, well best of luck out there today. We'll carry on up and we'll have a word with Mel Pocock, because, hi Mel. Mel, I know you had some troubles with your ankle. You looked still pretty uncomfortable in Majora, but last weekend in Sweden, it looked as though you were feeling a bit more better on the bike.
Yeah, and in France I got cross-righted on the way up a hill and stamped my foot into the ground and compressed my heel bone at the bottom of my leg, and it really, I mean, I could struggle to train in a week for the last few weeks, and yeah, last weekend I managed to get back on the pace a little bit in Sweden, and my foot's feeling a little bit better, so hopefully back on the up ramp now and keep away from injuries. So
fingers crossed. And last year here in Europeans, this was your race, really?
Yeah, last year I got some really good memories here. Had a good time here last year. Had 2 wins, basically won every single, led every lap, won both motors. So yeah, I won't forget that. So
fingers crossed for this weekend. Thank you. Right, let's see the MX2 qualifying race.
In MX2 qualifying then at Mxgp in Latvia. The gate dropped and it was Jose Butron who came from a few gates over and managed to hold it there as well as he came out of the first turn, but the 2 Red Bull KTMs of Herlings and Tixier were right there as well. So too was the 259 of Glenn Koldenoff on the standing construct. KTM there in 4th place. Then we had the first of the Monster Energy Yamahas, that was Dean Ferris, followed by the 23 of Charlier. That was your top 6 with Tonkov in 7th and Jake Nichols in 8th. Lupino also made a good start in 9th, followed by Stefan Olsson in 10th place. But wasn't long before Jeffrey Herlings found a way through on the Spaniard. And on lap 2, Herlings went through, pushing Butron back into 2nd position. He had a slight advantage over the 911, Jordi Tixier there, who was in 3rd place on the Red Bull KTM. But the Spaniard was riding a good race, and it was a while before Tixier could go through. In fact, it was on the 4th lap. But once there, Jeffrey Herlings, as everyone would expect in these kind of conditions, was starting to open up a gap. Meanwhile, Butron was coming under pressure from the guys behind him, and that included 259 Charlier, or 259 Koldenoff, then Charlier, as they came over the finish line jump. It was just a matter of time before Butron would succumb to the pressure. Jordi Tixier was having a steady ride once there in 2nd position, wasn't able to close down Jeffrey Herlings, but did put a nice gap between him and the rest of the field. Glenn Koldenoff found a way into 3rd place, pushing Butron number 17 back to 4th. And the next man on his radar was the 23 of Christophe Charlier on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Koldenoff then tried to go after Jordi Tixier, but wasn't able to close down the gap on the Frenchman. So at that point it was Jeffrey Herlings leading from Jordi Tixier. Glenn Koldenoff found himself into 3rd place. Mel Pocock and Dylan Ferrandis were 2 riders that had a tough ride here. Both guys finishing way down the order. Ferrandis in 22nd, Mel Pocock dropping down from 13th position and eventually coming home in 25th. So obviously suffering some kind of problem along the way. The number 59 of Alexander Tonkov on the Ester Motorsports Honda was having another good qualifying session, starting in 7th, but would eventually come home in 5th place. taking a couple of positions along the way in the final stages, one of those being Jose Boutron. And the other, of course, being Dean Ferris. Ferris started in 6th, but then he had mechanical issues and would pull out or DNF the race with about 2 laps to go. Harry Koulas on the Sarkar KTM, number 151. He also had to work pretty hard for his qualifying position. He started in 16th at the end of the first lap, eventually came home in 11th to record his best position of the season so far. Just saw a flash of the 2.43 of Tim Geiser. He also had a tough race, started 17th, went out on the first lap, but then just circulated in the end to come home in 27th position. But Jeffrey Hurlings was looking supremely confident here around this Kegum circuit. And the flag went out, and it was a win for Hurlings. Tixier second, Koldenhoff third.
Jeffrey, this GP last year for you was pretty frustrating, so it must be nice to get it off to a good start.
Yeah, definitely. I came out top 3. The jump wasn't what I expected, but turned good inside and came out third and worked my way up to front and won with about 15 seconds. So I'm pumped about that. And nothing crazy happened on the Saturday. So looking forward to tomorrow and hope to come out with another win.
See you tomorrow.